Hi everyone, this is Boogass Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Marvel Select Avengers movie Hulk figure. I just got this last week at my local toy store, and why I got it was because this is what Hulk looks like in Infinity War. And as I said in my Red Hulk review, I only I only buy Marvel Select figures that are big like this, like Hulk. Like when I got my Red Hulk, that's why I got him, because he scales better. And I will show that in a few, but this figure doesn't come with any accessories, so let's go ahead and start reviewing it. I do have to bend the knees down to get it into frame here, since he's so big. So for the head sculpt, I think the head sculpt looks really awesome. I think the only problem I have are his lips look a little funny. Kind of looks like he's wearing lipstick. But I do think it looks like Mark Ruffalo. I think you can see the semblance in there. I think that the resemblance. That looks really nice. And his hair is actually kind of sharp. Like, see, leaves a mark on you. I've found that a lot of pieces on this figure are really sharp. Like, it could just be mine, but a lot of the plastic is very sharp. Like, I actually cut myself on a piece of plastic right here on Hulk's pants. So I think the head sculpt looks really nice. And I think the colors on this figure looks really nice as well. I like how it has that dry brushing of a really dark green over the light green. It's actually a lot of different shades of green. It's about 3 different shades of green, because there's this really dark green, a really light green, and then a green that's a little darker than that. So I like the shifting colors. That looks really nice. I do like all the veins they're sculpted into him too. That looks nice. And on his back, he actually has a little bit of texture to him on his back. Let me see here. There's his back. You can see that in between the muscles, there's that dry brushing of really dark green. And here's where it actually feels kind of leathery, like his skin, it actually has a texture to it right there. It has a little bit on his chest, but then it kind of just fades. Like, his arms have a little bit of texture, and then it just kind of fades to nothing. But there's a lot of color variation on his arms. Like, on his chest, there's a lot, but on his stomach, there's not. And I will show that off in just a second. Like, see, there's all of this paint variation and stuff, and then this is just one solid color. And if you hold it if it's shadowed like that, it does look like it's shaded. But if you hold it up like that, you can see there's all just one color, which is kind of odd that there's really no difference in color on his torso right there, and there is on his chest. I think the texture looks a little smoother down here too. It just kind of looks like the sculpt is smoothed over just a little bit, which I find a little odd. There are his pants. They're purple, which they actually aren't purple in the movie. I think they're like grayish, like a grayish-brown kind of color. So the color is different in the movie than on this figure. But I think Hulk in the Infinity War trailer is wearing these, so that's the main reason I got this figure, is because of that. Now, right here, the plastic is really sharp. You can see that a little bit of the green isn't painted on. It's purple right there. But right here, where is it? Yes, right here. Right here is a very, very jagged piece of plastic. It is very sharp. You can see right here that it's really sharp. Actually, I just cut myself right there with it. So, I don't know if it's just mine or all of them, but that definitely should have been shaved down or something. And if you sand it down, the color will disappear, because this figure is cast in green. Like his pants back here, his pants are actually missing quite a bunch of paint. Let me show that off. Right there, you can see that it's green, like it didn't get painted in all the way. But on there's actually a little bit on the front as well. Like right here on his left leg, it's pretty good. You get a little bit of purple, extra purple painted on there, like right there. And then over here, if you turn his leg like that, you can see that it's green right there. And it's the same on the back of his legs right here. Let me get it into the camera. You can see all that green right there that's supposed to be painted that purple color. So the figure is kind of hit and miss with the collars. Just because, like, in some places there's no paint variation at all on the figure, and then there is. What I was going to say, though, is from right here up, from above the knee up, this is, the legs right here are cast in this purple. And right here is green. It's cast in green, and so is this. That's honestly just an easier thing to do, but I don't know. I think that it all should have just been cast in purple. I think that would have been a lot better. That way there wouldn't have been green looking like his skin is part of his pants. And then you get some sculpting and paint detail on his toes as well. I like how they actually made his toenails a different color. That's pretty accurate to the movie. And then you get some more texturing right here, which feels kind of like leather. I guess that's supposed to be like a skin-like texture. That's the weird thing. Like, he doesn't have texturing all over. So honestly, some things are hit and miss with this figure. Like the paint, some of the paint is missing. And the texturing really doesn't bother me, but it's kind of inconsistent altogether. So now let's go over his articulation. I'm going to have to back here to be able to have it in frame. So he's got a ball-jointed head that can look up just a little bit. His neck kind of gets in the way. Or his no neck. You really can't tell that he has a neck even. He can look down just a little bit. His neck gets in the way of that. And his head can move side to side. He's got ball-jointed shoulders that can only move out that far. His right shoulder doesn't move out as far as the left shoulder. He's got a single-jointed elbow. Oh, I missed that. He's got a swivel at the bicep, which kind of moves. It doesn't really move much because the shoulder does get in the way. It moves that way more than to the right. He's got a single-jointed elbow and a swivel at the wrist. He's got a ball-jointed diaphragm that can move back just a little bit and down just a little bit. It can move side to side. I think I would have rather had a waist swivel since this figure is missing that. He does have a double swivel at the hips that can move out that far. But this... Okay, maybe I can get it. Yeah, so Hulk can do a complete split. Now that I'm looking at it, there's actually a piece of plastic right here that's chipped. And I got this figure brand new. This isn't a used figure. This is brand new. And to move the hips back down, I've had a really hard time. Like, you have to hold up here because you can see that his hips move out like that, like they're ready to break. So that is something that's very tricky to do. That I wouldn't recommend doing. I'm doing it for this review, of course, just to show it. But if you want the figure to move out like that, I wouldn't recommend doing it. Because if you do it very much, these legs they're just going to snap right off. So Hulk can only kick forward, not as much as I would like. He can't kick back at all. He's got a swivel at the thigh, single jointed knee. Now, when you move it, you kind of hear that kind of noise, and that's how you know that it's moving. He's got a swivel at the ankle, and an ankle rocker. So overall, the articulation isn't bad on this figure. I think that it could have been better, honestly. Just because of how, like, sticky the joints are. And how these hips right here look like they're just going to break off when you move them. Because you can see that that's moving a way that it shouldn't be. Like, you can still... actually, on his left leg, you can hardly get him to kick forward. It makes that kind of a noise. So, I like the figure, but it does have its issues. Between the articulation and the paint detail and the sculpting. But the main reason I got it, which I'm going to do size comparisons now. Now I can show the main reason I got it. Because this is definitely accurate to Hulk's size in the movie. You can see that he towers over this, the Age of Ultron Hulk from Hasbro. There. That's how tall the Marvel Legends version is. And that's how tall the Marvel Select version is. Which is very accurate. And then here he is next to the Gladiator Hulk. And I'd recommend getting, I haven't seen it in stores yet, but I'd recommend getting the Marvel Select Gladiator Hulk. Because if the normal version of Hulk is this accurate in size, this one will be too. You can see that this version is just a little bit taller, but honestly, that's just with the helmet on. You can see that he's a little bit taller than the Legends version, the Age of Ultron version, but still isn't as tall as he should be. And then here Hulk is, next to the Hulk Buster. And you can see that these two figures scale perfectly together. Let me get them together like that. There. Let me tilt the camera up just a little bit too. And there you can see that these are the perfect height with each other, so this is very accurate. This is a lot more accurate than the Legends version, because the Legends version, let me see here, let me just move this for a second, comes to right here. Comes to this shoulder piece right here. And this Select Hulk comes right to the head of the Hulk Buster. So this is a pretty accurate size or scale. So I would recommend getting this because this scales perfectly with Legends, which I didn't know if it would because he looked really big, but yeah, he scales with Legends too. And it looks way better when you put it next to this Hulkbuster as with the Marvel Legends one. So that's my review. And if you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.